Hello and welcome to Instant Match Reaction from Follow Everton as we react to Everton's 3-0 convincing win against Dynamo Kiev. Dan, thanks for joining me. Obviously, great to win on the match before the season gets going. How much can we take from this victory today?
I'm a lot of positives for me. The fullbacks got forward quite a lot. The defence seemed to work. Like I said, the fullbacks getting forward a lot was a big positive, and I thought we looked a bit better down the middle as well. So definitely better than what we have been. So a lot of positives for me. A few
Uh,
negatives, but there was always not going to go away, was it? We've got to work it up slowly.
it was a shame to see the fans run on the pitch at the end. It's kind of marred
Yes,
what was
naughty.
a really good game, but I suppose they want their £5 worth. Although I think that if this continues, Everton are going to be in a lot of deep trouble. But let's focus on the game. 3-0, some say maybe 4-0, as there was a little bit of a thing at the end where one of the supporters, I've forgotten his name, came onto the pitch, 44-year-old. It was a really nice gesture from Everton. But let's focus on the 90 minutes. Everton got off to a great start with the goal from DCL. What's your thoughts on the goal? Did you get to see it?
Yeah, I got that one. Cracking pass by Tarkowski once again. He is amazing on the ball from defence, and the ball was perfect. Like, obviously, there was a lot to do for Calvert-Lewin to finish that incredible finish by Calvert-Lewin, by the way. But that ball kind of made Calvert-Lewin in a situation where he had to dink it over the keeper. So it was all kind of a perfect move for me. How did you find it?
Well, that was the part where the stream didn't work for me, but eventually got on. So I still haven't seen the goal, I must
So
admit. But
basically,
it was an early goal, wasn't it? It was 4 minutes in, so
yeah.
obviously it set the tone for the match.
Yeah, basically it was Tarkowski on the ball from centre back, long ball. One of their defenders come to Calvert-Lewin, but Calvert-Lewin could just dinked it over the keeper top corner with his head, like a lob sort of dink header. Really good goal. You'll be happy with it. Very good goal.
Sounds great. I believe that the pass was fantastic as
Mm.
well. Tarkowski had a really good game. He looks like a good signing so far.
Yeah, he's really. I actually think he's going to be like. Say I'm crazy for this. He's going to be one of our best centre backs that we've had. I really do think he's up there with Jagielka. He's got everything. I know it's early days, but he's got everything. He's good on the ball. He's got a real good eye for a pass. Tackle comes in at the right time. Solid tackle. I mean, there's a couple of times where a player ran at him and the commentator was like, "You're not getting past Tarkowski. He's going to stop you. You're not getting past him." And I thought to myself, you generally are. You're not going to get past him. He's going to be solid. What a signing on a free for us as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's one good thing is if you can find good talent from sides which were relegated, that could have been us, as we well know. So I'm just really thankful that we're going into the season still in the Premier League, Dan. But
We
really good
remember.
to see the turnaround because the 4-0 match, which sort of kicked off the pre-season, put everyone on a bit of a doom and gloom mission over the last few weeks. I think things are really coming together, and you don't want to peak too early with these games. It is very much about fitness, but today it looked like things were just gelling. There were some good performances in there from the likes of Dele Alli, obviously the McNeil, which we'll touch on in a minute, and Damari Gray. There was lots of standout players, and this obviously looks like it's going to be the 11 that are going to go out next week because that's normally what they do. But let's dig into a couple of those performances. I thought it was great to see McNeil get a brace. He took his goals awfully well.
Yeah, he was. Do you know what? When he come on, I was like, "Score, please score," because I said he was going to score on the channel previously.
Right.
I said he was going to score, and I was like, "Come on, please score!" And when he cut in, I thought he's going to ping this with his left foot, make it go in. And what a goal it was! Because I've been arguing with a lot of people saying, like our fans saying, he's going to be good, and I've even had Liverpool fans come at me and give me his stats, and I said, "Don't worry about his stats because." that was in a different team, a Burnley team. He's going to be reborn at Everton. He's going to be a different player with us because I watched him as a player and I know he's got a good shot. I know he's good on the ball. He doesn't lose the ball and he's good at driving with the ball. What more do you want? And that goal, I was so happy, so happy.
I know there's not many things that can make you feel over the moon, but it seemed like, him driving to the Garda Street, taking the goal so well, then the header as well, which was almost effortless. Especially with the loss of the likes of Richarlison, very hard to replace, really made my day, made my evening. That.
Do you know what?
I think the atmosphere looked like it really picked up on a result of that McNeil first goal.
I'm going to admit this. I didn't know that he scored 2 because my stream went down at the very end until you just told me. So I was buzzing that he scored 1. And you've just told me he scored a header as well. When you told me, I was thinking, shall I pretend I know? But then I thought, no, I'm going to reveal I didn't actually know he scored 2. That's even better because I was going crazy with 1.
It's good that we're honest enough to admit that I didn't see the first and you didn't see the third. I think
together we got it all.
The whole game. Between us, we've seen the whole game. Yeah. And I hope that fans watching this got to either witness it inside Goodison, where it looked like there was an above-average crowd for a pre-season match, and a really good atmosphere. And credit to Everton, I think they gave something like 2,000 tickets away to Ukrainians living on Merseyside. And the whole thing was played in such good spirit. Mykolenko was captain until I think he got substituted. It was hard to follow. There was a lot of halftime entertainment as well, Dan. I don't know whether you caught on that. It was all very, very interesting. But before we go on, we're wishing our support to Ukraine as a nation and good luck to Kiev for the season ahead. They're certainly not a bad side. And the result, which arguably was 4-0, depends on whether you want to count the supporter who came in and put the goal in the Gladys Street as a sort of goodwill gesture from Everton. But let's call it 3-0 in normal time. And I think that it wasn't just about the goals. It was about the way that things started to gel together. It just felt like today things had come together that they weren't really coming together before the game. And if you didn't catch the third goal, it was our new left wing. I've not pronounced his name, but it was our new left-sided wing-back defender.
Vinagre, isn't it? Vinagre, I think it is.
Vinagre. It was an absolute gem of a cross. It was beautiful. Dan.
Even better. I didn't know this
he
even.
He stood it up. Look, you could have put it in the net, Dan. He stood it up and it was almost effortless.
I love this. I love this because I've been saying to Ryan, he's going to be good, the left-back. And you've just told me our left-backs just put an amazing ball in for us to score a goal.
Fantastic. Look at the smile on my face.
And McNeil scored the header. So 2 players that Ryan said to me ain't good enough, that he's not sure about, have been good enough. They've smashed it. And it's only a friendly, but still, this was they're quite a good team. They're not a bad team, They're quite a competitive team.
They are. They've been regularly in Europe and in and out of the Champions League. We're going to get some comments in. It's not going to be an awful long one tonight, but there'll be plenty of time to react and build up towards the big one next Saturday. It's a 5:30 kickoff at Goodison. Everton play Chelsea, and I'm sure everyone is really just gearing up for that. And it's all about pacing ourselves, making sure that we don't get too over the moon and that we're not too complacent. But really good to see that we got the clean sheet. But if you didn't catch it, wow, what a save! Dan, did you see?
Yes, I did. I tweeted about it straight away, mate. I had to get it off my chest. That was like, do you know when you watch Free Willy dive over the thing to get into the sea? It was literally, I don't know how he dived that fast. Like, it's a rocket top corner. It's not just a top corner shot. It's a rocket top corner. And for the fact he knows it's going to go there and he's actually got there as well, I can't believe he did it. I think even he would be shocked that he did it because it was like incredible. Like, we didn't see where it come from. I don't know what you was like, but I was like, oh my God, did he just really do that? That's how I felt about that.
It was an absolute beauty. I mean, that would have been a top draw goal, but as it so happened, and Darren Griffith said on commentary, what a save. It was one of those. Pickford, save yourself for the season because you're going to be needed. But it really was.
He was starting to get a little bit of stick, wasn't he? He was starting to get a little bit of stick because he made a couple of mistakes the last 2 games, and then all of a sudden he goes and does that. And you think to yourself, bloody hell, if you can make saves like that, I think you're all right. We're pretty safe with you because that was something else. It probably was one of his best, wasn't it? I haven't watched it slow-mo, but
Oh, it's definitely up there with some of the saves he made last season, if not even better. I mean, it was one for the cameras, but certainly there was some pace on that shot. If you just joined us, Everton winning 3-0, possibly 4, depending on whether you want to count the supporter coming in and putting in the net. We're not going to. We're going to call it 3-0. There were supporters on the pitch at the end, which was a bit sad to see. Everton got off to an early lead with Dominic Calvert-Lewin's goal after 4 minutes and went into the break a 0-0. Pickford made an outstanding save at that point, which we just spoke about. Then McNeil came to the field. There were lots of substitutions, which we'll get onto, and scored 2 on 73 and 78 minutes. And they were magical goals.
I love it. I love him already. You know,
first one driving through,
I love him.
found a bit of space. Obviously, he's got that pace. It was all left foot, but he drove it through to the keeper's left-hand side, and the Gladys Street was really happy to see that. And it's always great to see a debut goal, even if it is pre-season. And it looked like there was a decent amount of people there to celebrate that. But this third one, where we just, it stood up on a plate. You just can't miss from there. He didn't even have to leap, Dan. It was absolutely superb. So, yeah, we'll stand with the Ukraine. Follow Everton will as well. It was 3-0, as Everton have reported it now, not in fact 4, as we saw it come up just as a bit of a joke at the end. A goodwill gesture that I don't know what many fans made of, but it was nice to see. But personally, I would have preferred to just see that at half-time. But there was so much entertainment at half-time with I think it was a Ukrainian singer, somebody who's been on one of these talent shows and won. So Dan, it was like the Royal Variety performance at half-time. I don't know what you thought of all of that. But let's go back to the match. And we're going to start going through a few of the comments that have been coming through since the final whistle.
Yes.
And it's great that everyone's, been watching the game. And if you haven't, don't worry. I'm sure you'll catch the highlights. Peter Collins says the midfield is still very iffy, lads. I mean, there were a number of changes today. It wasn't like we were giving all the players 90 minutes. Dan, the midfield has been subject to a barrage of comments of late, really. I mean, and the need to strengthen up there. And it doesn't seem that we're going to be bringing in an awful lot of additional talent. But with the likes of Decore and Delhi and Iwobi, the first choice 11 can do the business, can't they?
Yeah, it was the midfield, like you say. I do think new faces are going to come in and they're going to help it massively. I really do. I think it's something we're going to strengthen. But it was a good little combination of playing Iwobi with Decore, because you feel like with Iwobi, he might move the ball forward a bit more. He's got more of an eye to go forward. Where with Davis might not have that. And I like seeing Iwobi and Decore together. I thought Iwobi was the better one. Decore still needs to move the ball forward quicker. And that's what the commentators were saying as well. Sometimes it's just pass back, and you can't pass back. When you've got the momentum, you've got to keep the momentum and keep moving it forward. So yes, Decore was a bit disappointing again. And I think that will relate to what he's saying in the comments, that it was a bit iffy because he's not having the performances that we wanted pre-season. Hopefully that changes though, Steve. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think we've just got to give a little bit longer to see this all pan out. And it's quite critical for us to start attacking things in pre-season. Let's just be honest. We're still in the Premier League for another season, and we're going to go and give it our best shot next week. And there's plenty of time to criticise, but let's celebrate what happened today and also the getting behind the Ukraine and being united with what's going on. Mike says it's a clean sheet, mate. I think that it's always good to go into the first match of the season with a clean sheet. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I'm buzzing with a clean sheet, but I'm not going to be negative, but I will point out things that we need to improve on. And we will improve on them because we've got all season to slowly improve on these things. But something that just really bugs me is set pieces. We're very slow on set pieces. I don't know whether you noticed, but they were passing the ball short, and we take like 3-4 seconds to realise they're going to go short. And then they put a couple of dangerous balls in. And I felt like today we looked solid in defence and we looked worthy of the clean sheet, but I still felt on edge on set pieces.
I see what you mean. I think that generally it felt like we were this is my personal view, is that we're a gear up on last year in terms of pace and in terms of unity of passing, speed of passing, and positioning. It just seemed like we were a notch up on last year.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely look better today. Definitely look better because we was passing the ball a lot faster. And the first preseason games, I was saying, I don't know how we're going to score a goal. We looked really poor attacking. But this game, we looked a threat when we was attacking, and I could see goals coming, which is progression because we didn't look like that at the start, and now we look like that going into this Chelsea game. So it's a massive positive, isn't it, that we are going into this Chelsea game with 3 good goals. Like, I know it's only a friendly, but these goals would be good goals in the Premier League. They wasn't crap goals; they were really good goals. Calvert-Lewin's flick on, there was a cracking goal. Like you say, McNeil's cracking left foot.
Wait till you see the third.
Yeah, I haven't seen the third as well, but what you said, I'm going to put it down as a good goal. So, yeah, 3 really good goals that would probably happen in the Premier League anyway. So, it's definitely positive going into that Chelsea game, and you feel like we can go and either get a draw or try and win it.
I am positive going into that game. I think that the way we played from the back and between the lines, things just looked better. And whether it was a case of Kiev not being up to speed or playing at the same sort of tempo that Premier League will be played at remains to be seen. But going into that game, we couldn't really have gone we can't really be going in any better shape. I like to think that any players that wanted to leave the club have gone, and if we do add, great. And Everton are notoriously late to the transfer market. It doesn't surprise me with what happened this week, being so close to the first match of the season. Getting some great comments in about the ball that was played from Tarks through to Dominic Calvert-Lewin for the first
Cracking
goal.
Ball.
And
Cracking
I'm
ball.
sure in a pre-season match when you have not a full capacity crowd and you haven't got as much to play for, it's really good when you get an early goal. I think that really made a difference. And there was a bit of a family atmosphere. You could tell, there were people chatting away and people not taking it too seriously. But I think that really people seem to respond to McNeil's goal and the Vinagre assist that was just absolutely beautiful towards the end. That was assist of the season. No, it was a beautiful cross on the left back. I think I'm just excited the fact that I've not seen that since Luca Dean left. Just whipping the ball in. It's so simple, football, actually, when you watch it, but we've just not kept it simple. And I think what's been kind of fault that just built up, Dan, was just the confidence went last season, and I think that we couldn't play football and we just got so nervous that apart from the last few games, we just kept losing games as a habit, and then we lost our way and we forgot that we're actually quite good footballers. So
confidence as well. Confidence when you're at that bottom. It's crazy because obviously I was on this with you a lot last season, and it brings back a couple of those relegation games that me and you was absolutely bricking it.
Yeah,
and it feels different. It does feel different though. I know it does feel. I feel better though. It feels different. It feels like we've got a fresh start now, and we've got a whole season to do it because Lampard's going nowhere. We're going to keep him, give him the whole season. He's learned a lot, and I feel a lot better than what I did last season with the Benitez half a season vibe and stuff like that. I feel good this season. I really do. These players that are coming in are good. McNeil, what a cracking addition he's going to be, because he looks a proper tidy player on the ball. And like you just said, the left back, Vinagre, he's gone and whipped a cracking ball in, and he's obviously got assists in the tank. He's already shown that within he come on 10, 15 minutes. So positives from Everton is always good, isn't it? Because we don't get a lot of positives.
Definitely.
What's Jack the lad say? He's always on this.
Oh, Jack the lad, superb comment. Really wonderful to see. Good as some magic there today. And I don't know what the crowd was actually. I'm sure we'll get information. To be honest, there's not been a lot of stats or anything published from the game. It can be quite hard in these pre-seasons to find out what's been going on. I don't know whether Opta get involved and things like that. Interestingly, note on Opta, I met somebody once who was involved in the way that they do those stats, to work out who's passed to how many passes and all that. Literally, it's someone there with a space bar. Literally, yeah. and they're just going, right, A to passes to B. None of it's automated. It's not as magical as you might think. But yeah, great to see. We're approaching 100 people watching live. That's really great. I
100
personally
on,
like
buzzing.
this. I do love a good pun. So Mike Flynn's one can't be missed. And I think that there's been a lot of plaudits for Pickford.
I kept saying on the channel Viagra as a joke and stuff like that. He's gonna give us all something to get up for, you know what I mean? Viagra. And I think
well,
he
he
did.
Definitely stood it up. It was on the plate.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely stood it up, mate. I think he's definitely gave us something to get up for. He gave Dwight McNeil something to get up for, because it sounds like
definitely he gave McNeil a really good chance to put that.
Do you know what? As soon as I was singing around the house, as soon as Dwight McNeil scored, because I love him already, Richarlison number as well. Well done for taking the risk on going for the Richarlison number. I was singing around the house, Dwight McNeil, Dwight McNeil. I was just singing songs for Dwight McNeil because I want him to do well. I really do want him to smash it.
I think he will.
Yeah, he's got the Richarlison number as well now, and he's going to score 2 goals in it already. So the sky's your limit, as they say.
Richarlison was great for Everton, but he did spend a lot of time on the floor, and I think that he worked extremely hard for Everton. But it's good that we've got McNeil in, because although he didn't have the best season last year, he's clearly a very talented young footballer that's got a lot of promise. And Everton have got generally quite a young team. Yes, there's work to be done, but we've got that team spirit there that's still there from last season. But Robbie makes a point that we made straight on at the beginning of the show, which is a shame that there's parents lifting kids up and fans going onto the pitch, because it is going to give our club a bad reputation. Matty says that Tarkowski's man of the match, great signing, leader in defence, can't argue with that at all. I think he's been obviously a fantastic signing so far, and we look forward to seeing him.
Do you want me back in, bud? My picture's gone blue.
Yeah, it has. Dan's picture's blurry, so he's going to be back in just a second. But yeah, keep the comments rolling in. We do appreciate every comment that comes in as we react to Everton's 3-0 win tonight, home to Dynamo Kiev, and the match supporting the events in Ukraine. And it's really good to see Everton start end pre-season on a high, going into the big match against Chelsea. It's a 5:30 kickoff next Saturday. We're going to bring Dan back in, and we'll take final comments. Hi, Dan. Just going to take a few final comments before we wrap up tonight, and I'm sure that there's plenty of discussion to be had before everything kicks off next Saturday. So what are your final thoughts as we look to sort of end tonight and go to bed, sleep well? We didn't have too much of that last year, but look forward really to the season starting. Is it very much an excitement on your point of view, or do you feel nervous about what Everton? I mean, just to pick up on a Jamie Carragher comment, I'm sure there'll be Blues that hate him, but he made a comment that it feels like we'll struggle due to the loss of Richarlison, and it feels like it's going to be a hard season for Everton. I
don't like Jamie Carragher, and I don't like his comments a lot, to be fair. He told us to get Benitez, he'd be a cracking manager at Everton. Look how that turned out. Yeah. Carragher, he thinks he knows everything, but he chats a lot of doo-doo sometimes, you know what I mean? But the one thing, by the way, if you just said there's 100 people on, if there's 100 people on, click that like and subscribe button, because we want to get our subscribers up, and 100 people on is pretty good. Obviously, you're all buzzing like we are with the win. But yeah, on what you've just said, I'm happy, mate. I really am happy. I feel like we're slowly progressing and the right things are starting to click. I can't wait to see Dwight McNeil have that sort of click with Dele Alli and Calvert-Lewin, and obviously Gordon. There's talks that Cornet might happen. Ross Barkley's going to come in. Ghana guy might come back. This might be a good season, you know. We might go from pulling our hair out to actually picking our arms up and jumping around all season. I'm not saying we're going to win the league or anything, but if we can comfortably finish above 10th, I think me and you will be a lot happier, won't we?
I've had to take a few weeks from the streams just to protect myself from the stress that comes with following Everton, and the beginning of the pre-season didn't help with that. I'm sure there'll be other Blues that haven't really got into pre-season because last season was so traumatic and just gave everyone so much stress. And I'm not saying that lightly. And there are a lot of Blues that were either in tears, close to tears, or couldn't sleep. And I'm not even talking about that as a joke. That was literally how it is, and so much so that we've had to do mental health videos and lots of discussion on that. But yeah, everyone thinks we're going to be, the comments come in and thinks we're going to be okay. Well, whether okay is 15th, I mean, I would take anything above 12th, I think, would be a good result from where we were, because, you know, that sort of positioning would mean that we're not dragged into another fight, and that's really the worst nightmare. And Everton have started the season quite well in the last few years, and so we've got to really give it, generally, we've got to give it at least 10 games before we make an assessment, Dan.
Do you know what I want to see? I want to see us really solid in defence, like a hard team to beat. Like if we get a draw or we win, that sort of Everton. That Tarkowski proper strengthens it up as the back, and teams come at us and they struggle to win. Like we make them have to really do well to beat us if they do. That's what I want Everton to be. I don't want us to be. Do you know, last season we were so exposed at the back, and the teams looked like they could put 5 or 6 past us. I don't want us to be like that anymore. I want us to like work our way up from the back and get stronger. I'll take 10th, to be honest. Yeah, you would do, wouldn't you? We'll be okay this season. See, everyone's happy now, ain't they, after that performance? I know it's only a friendly, but everyone's happy.
I think that when the supporters collectively don't feel anxious and feel that we're going upwards, that kind of almost translates to the performances on the pitch, because you can almost sense, I was at Goodison a few games, and you can almost sense that tension when you're there.
It might go, though. Some of these players might take that tension away. One of the commentators said, and I thought it was a really good point, he said, these fans have been that stressed last season. I think they want to just come this season and just enjoy the football and just enjoy Everton. And he's right. That's what we want to do. We want to, if we start the season all right and we can just play football and not worry about being at the bottom, it'll be a nice season where we can just, like, it's a hobby. Your weekend is to just go, relax, watch Everton and enjoy it, not go and be stressed on your weekend when you're off work. Do you know what I mean? It's meant to be your happy place. Everton's meant to be your happy place. That's where it needs to be now. You know what I mean? That's how I think anyway. It needs to be better. It might be. It might be. We're getting good comments
Everton
saying
really,
we're going to do well.
Yeah, fantastic comments. Everton really are the people's club, aren't they? I mean, last season we played a cup match where we gave shirts, or we paid for shirts for a side who came over to Goodison. I can't remember which game. It's far too late at night. But today, 2,000 tickets to Ukraine, the gestures that they make on the club. We just need to make sure the fans are not.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say one thing.
That fan thing, you know, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's okay, but it's like a once in a decade thing that you do if we've either won something, which is at the moment very unlikely, or we've saved our face.
That's what I was going to say, and it mate. I was just going to say, don't tell a joke twice because it's not funny the second time. Do you know what I mean? Like seriously, because that I will say it now because I say what I think. Don't do that. Don't send your kids on the pitch to get tops and stuff like that. I know you want to. I know your kids will be buzzing if they get the tops, but it's becoming a habit now. We look a bit stupid. The Premier League will look at us and say, these haven't got control of their fans. We already got done for the invasion at the end of the season, which was worth it, the one at the end of the season, because like you've just said, it was massive that we stayed up. Don't be stupid now. Don't ruin it. Don't let people go on the pitch. Let's just keep them off. I know you want to. I know your kids want tops. I know it's harmless. Kids are on the pitch, but it just makes us look very unprofessional and makes it look like we haven't got like control over our fans. It makes us look not good as a club, not well run. So let's just kind of wipe that now. I've heard a lot of people say it on my Twitter. No, all agreeing with me. So I presume that we're all at the same place with that because you can't do it. It's not good.
Just before we wrap up,
who is Paul Stratton? I didn't even know who he was.
So Paul Stratton is the 44-year-old male Everton fan who had, I think, been delivering some special supplies to Poland. If there are any fans out there that can correct me on those facts, that'd be helpful because there's a lot going on and off the pitch today. loads of substitutions. Sorry, I don't want to make an excuse, but we're also holiday planning, myself and my wife. Anyway, this was going on. This happened like literally, I think the whistle went, I think it was like 89, 40 or something. It felt like it was before the final whistle. All of a sudden, I don't think everyone knew what was happening. They all go down to the Gladys Street stand, and Paul Stratton comes on.
I seen him. I did see the penalty, but I didn't know who he was.
This mascot comes on, and he looked like, I can't remember the name of this guy, but that guy on Channel 4, he used to have a big round head.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know what he's talking about, not out the senses, but there's this guy that used to be on Channel 4, and he was like dressed up, sort of orange. Anyway,
I do think that I've just seen a lot of people putting pictures of the mascot up and videos. I think we do need to get a mascot again.
The mascot comes on, presuming he's the Everton mascot, welcomes Paul Stratton on. Paul Stratton shakes hands with Lampard. Shame that Lampard didn't go on the pitch. That would have been interesting to see. Anyway, he goes down to the Gladys Street at the end of the game. All the fans crouch around. All the fans are watching. All of the players are gathering around, and it's just bizarre. And he basically shoots it into keeper's right, but the keeper didn't dive or do anything. It was almost like a premeditated thing. Let him score, and then he goes into the Gladys Street and celebrates, kisses the badge, and then it's sort of the end. But it was a bit of a I've never seen anything quite like it, Dan. So yeah,
I think like you say though, if he's done a lot over this Ukraine thing, I think it was just a thank you gesture. But it was good for him to do. But it was funny for him to do it during the game, like you say, maybe a halftime thing and highlight it at halftime. There was a lot going on with the singers as well. You just said that I seen one at the start. There was one at halftime.
This is the guy, Frank Sidebottom. That's brilliant. Sorry, it's a long day.
Yeah, is that his name?
Yeah. Frank Sidebottom. Anyway, this is the guy that I just saw. Is the guy with the round head, the mascot. It wasn't the toffee lady, if anyone was watching.
Is he going to be there all the time, or was that just for this?
It's your guess is as good as mine, Dan. But
I've never seen it. I've never seen Frank Sidebottom before.
Of stuff you just don't
Chang
see.
And Mr. Testicles.
Sidebottom we're talking about is the guy that was on probably 25 years ago on Channel 4 that would appear on his own little program. So that Google him.
Yeah, I will. I think I've just got a good impression from you anyway.
The mascot reminded me a little bit of him. It's like, who's this guy? It's Frank Sidebottom. I don't know what's going to happen with the mascot. Obviously, we've got the toffee lady, but and that's great that we have that, but we kind of need more of a character dressed up to be in keeping with the sort of MLS or the way things are going on the franchise front, maybe to attract more youngs. I don't know. Just get the ball in the net. That'll attract young fans. But yeah, who knows what's going to happen? Apparently, we don't know the name, the mascot, but it was a bit odd. We just don't know. The whole thing was very bizarre towards the end, because it sort of happened as if it was happening within the match. So much so that they actually showed 4-0 on the scoreboard, and then the commentators weren't sure whether to count it or not. So it was a bit of a weird one. But
I don't know. It was just a little bit. It was planned, but it didn't go as planned. Frank Lampard did go up to him after he scored, I seen, and start patting him on the back and celebrating with him. And Holgate was celebrating with him. It was all
pre-season matches are about, isn't it?
Yeah, it was like an event.
We've seen all sorts of stuff over the time. We've even seen Tony Hibbert score, and when you've seen Hibbert score, you've seen everything. So that's what it's about. Is if you're going to do it, you've got to do it. Michael reckons it was Mickey the mascot. So we'll see if it is him. But
everyone loves a mascot.
Any final closing comments before we draw the curtain for tonight and have?
To be fair, every I know Ryan stresses a little bit, but every point I wanted to happen today happened. Like Vinagre had an assist, an amazing assist. You told me about it. I'm buzzing. I'm going to watch it when I come off this. Dwight McNeil, who a lot of people was criticising, saying he wasn't good enough and he can't score and his stats was really bad last season, has got amazing stats already. Yeah, Ali, come on. Dele Alli, we didn't speak about him that much, but he come on and look the old Dele Alli again. He's very good on the ball at the minute, isn't he? He's finding himself. So I'm buzzing. I am buzzing. Up the fucking toffees. That's what I'm going to say. I love it. I'm happy. And may this continue. And it best do, because I don't want to stress this season. Neither do you?
No, I can't deal with it anymore. I have to dye my hair, Dan. I'm a lot greater than this.
We'll be all right. We'll be all right.
Yeah, we'll be good. So
thanks for the people coming on. Anyone that's on now, we would go all night if we could, but we have to go sleep, especially with our kids and stuff. But what we will say is subscribe and like, and there's plenty of more of this to come. We've got the season ahead, haven't we?
Absolutely.
Big season.
And we really appreciate your company tonight. It's not easy joining stream straight after the match, and if you're at home, I'm sure you've got better things to do. But every comment, every like, subscribe, every share, it matters to us. We're well over 1,000 now, and we've grown this channel from scratch. And our aim is to get to 5,000. It'll make a big difference. But I think what happens is starts to jump once you get to certain milestones, and the algorithm will push us out more, and we'll be more known. So we went from part of the founding 5,000.
We went from 900 to 1,300 really quick. So anybody that's on now, even if you could go and click our link and just advertise us, because we just want to get bigger and more of you on, and you can share comments with each other in the comments and stuff. We will definitely want to make it grow, but we are growing because, like I say, from 900 to 1,300 that quick, we must be doing all right.
You're going to be watching the Charity Shield tomorrow? The Community Shield, sorry?
No. I'm happy with what I've just watched. I think I'll leave it on that now till that Chelsea game. Do you know what? I haven't even watched any other teams in these pre-season friendlies. I've seen that Liverpool have been losing and stuff like that. And I've seen that Nunes isn't the Nunes that they want. But I haven't actually watched any games because I am solely focused on Everton this season, because I know how important it is that we do have a good season.
I think it's a good thing to do. And I've blinkered an eye at some of the results that, Liverpool... And I just just take it with a pinch of salt, because as you know what they're like. But this is not about them. But the Community Shield is tomorrow at 5 o'clock, I believe. And then on Sunday, there's a big game for England. And it's the women's team taking on the old enemy, Germany. I believe that's either a 5 or 5:30 kickoff. You're going to be watching that, Dan?
I might have a watch. I probably will have a peek. I probably will have a peek at that cup game. I might have a peek at it. I know I said I won't watch it, but because it's a cup, I always try and. I know this sounds bad. There will be fans on there, but I'm sure they don't want us to win either. I will hope that Liverpool lose the cup. I don't want them to win it. So,
well, I think you're probably speaking for every blue out there.
Yeah, exactly. And you wouldn't want us to win a cup anyway, so I'll probably watch it, hoping for them.
No more silverware. Yes. No, definitely not. Throughout the season, we're going to be having special guests. We've already had a few over the pre-season. We're going to have our regulars on the team. Mabsy, Rai, we've got Basil, we've got
Jan.
We've got Jan and the Viking, and it's a great team at Follow Everton. If you want to get involved, please contact us on followeverton.com. And obviously, we do appreciate you subscribing, comments. We'll have another video for you before the Chelsea game, a big preview. And from myself and from Dan, it's a very good night from us, and have a good sleep. Bye for now.
Up the fucking toffees, Dwight McNeil. Love you.